Awesome. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us today on this amazing interview. I am Devette. I'm a Christian numerologist and relationship coach. And as a spiritual entrepreneur, I just decided that I wanted to interview some really amazing people from different walks of life, different professions, who just have different perspectives and points of view. And I want to be able to spotlight these amazing individuals and just kind of be in service and bring some information out to the public and cause awareness, really, with what they're doing and what they're up to. So today I'm really excited to spotlight Shameka Andrews. Did I say her name right? Okay, perfect. She's completely in service to the community, and I'm so fascinated about what you do and what your story is, and I'll let you go a little bit more into that. But yeah, tell us who you are, what you do.
Okay, well, I'm Shameka Andrews. I am a disability advocate and consultant. I offer training in the areas of disability awareness, self-care, and self-advocacy.
Awesome. And what got you started in this?
Well, I am actually a person with a disability myself. I was born with a disability called spina bifida, which is the incomplete development of the spinal column. So okay. I use a power chair. You probably can't tell by the way I'm sitting, but I use a power chair. So as a person with a disability, I had to work my way through the system and get the things that I needed and wanted in my life. And I wanted to be able, when I was looking at what I wanted to do as a career, or, a job or a business, I wanted to be able to help other people with disabilities, to have an easier time than I did with navigating the system and getting the services and supports that they needed, and maybe introducing them to things that they may not have access to, like things like meditation and yoga and vision boards, and a lot of conversations that I was having outside of the disability world. I wanted to bring those things into the disability world. So that's
wow, that's really powerful. That's amazing. Do you find that that they're really receptive to it, or
Yes, absolutely. People are really interested in how things work for them and how it can help them. So, there've really been a lot of interest around, things like meditation, for stress management, dealing with, symptoms of a disability. I know for me, learning meditation and learning yoga helped me with a lot of symptoms from my disability that I experienced, like back pain and headaches and stress, just managing stress of navigating, supports and things like that. So lots of people have given me feedback that, those things have helped them as well.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It's interesting because it's regardless of what I guess you're up to in life or what the struggle is, we all need some sort of, calming the mind down. I mean, just really being grateful even for what we have, whatever that limit is. Sometimes people don't have a family, or they've lost a child, or they've lost a job and they're homeless, or they're disabled in some way, and it's hard to find. It's easy to be a victim, right, about things, but when you have somebody to inspire you to get control of your thoughts and focus on the good things and calming your mind and kind of getting grounded with your body, it's so powerful. I know that you said you had a business called Disability Empowered Consulting, right?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, I started Disability Empowered Consulting back in 2011, where I was working, like I said, bringing, different experiences to people with disabilities, as well as working with businesses
Okay.
to help them to become more accessible to people with disabilities. Because as I traveled kind of outside and worked with different businesses, I found that, there are a lot of things that people, they would always invite me to things, or other people with disabilities, but they didn't really understand what making something accessible for an individual meant and what that looked like. So it's really important for me to help businesses kind of look at, the things that they're doing and how they can make them more accessible. So that's why I started with disability empowered consulting.
Yeah, that's awesome because it's you don't think about that sometimes. You're just going about your life and you don't realize that maybe sometimes if you could just make the doorway a little bigger, right? Or have things like that are easily accessible. Um, that must be discouraging to go somewhere and not being able to, you know, get in somewhere because maybe the door is too small or, what do you find is like the most challenging with that?
Yeah, I think really it is. There's been many times where I've gone into places, and like I said, I've been invited to a lot of places and people say, oh yeah, it's accessible. And then you go there and you find that they have a step, and they think that, oh, okay, so well, we have a step, but I'm gonna, send, four big guys to lift you in your chair. And it's like, well, no, actually, that's not a good idea, because
Yeah.
me and my chair weigh over, 400 pounds. So uh,
Mhm.
that's not really making it accessible, and you're putting yourself in danger as well as me. So I find that people can be very well-meaning, but they really don't understand what it takes. That it's not just about, making some sort of makeshift ramp, or, you
Right.
really have to think about things. And there's lots of things, even beyond, looking at the doorways, because there've been a lot of places where the doorway is wide enough, you can get in, but you can't use the bathroom, for instance. People not looking at how their bathrooms are set up, or, looking at things like lighting, how is your lighting set up, because some people are affected by lighting. Or do you have, really bright lights or blinking lights, or
Right.
your documents that you are distributing, are you distributing them just in paper form, or, are they, electronic, are you, reaching out to people that may need, things in different forms,
Right.
so there's a lot of things that people don't think about. And another thing, that I find is, often when go to events, people talk about microphones, right? And they say, well, I don't like microphones. But it's not really about, whether you like microphones or not. It's about the fact that, especially in these days where a lot of places are like streaming events and things like that. And
Right.
if you're streaming your event and you don't have a good microphone, the people that are watching your stream aren't going to be able to hear you, whether they have a disability or not.
Right.
So it's making it accessible for everyone.
Right. Yeah, that's so important. And there's so many things that are just so easily to overlook that are so important because you want everybody to be included and everybody has a message, everybody has an idea, something to offer.
Mhm.
And you don't want anybody left out of that or to feel bad. You don't want to have to show up and have to have people lift you up. You want to be able to just get in on your own independently, and I think people don't really realize the importance of that.
Mhm.
So do you work with, so I know that you like you have the wheelchair program, right? You focus, do you focus on with people in wheelchair, or do you do other disability as well?
Well, that particular program, the Miss Wheelchair Miss Wheelchair New York program, is specifically for women who use wheelchairs. It's a leadership and empowerment program. where we have a lot of trainings for women about advocating in their communities. And so that's that particular program is specifically for women who use wheelchairs. But we're always looking for like volunteers to help out with the program. So you don't have to be a woman to be a volunteer. You just have to identify as a woman to like be a contestant in the program.
Gotcha.
So that specifically is around, women who use wheelchairs and helping them be leaders and advocates and promoting their platforms of what their passion is and what is important to them. So
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. How long have you been doing that?
that particular program I've been involved in since 2005.
Okay.
I took over running the program in 2013. So in 2005, I volunteered for the national program that was here in my hometown. And I did hospitality, working, making sure, all of the people that attended had what they needed. And then I've been a judge in the competition. And supporting the women that participate, and I've been running the program since 2013. So
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah. So what is that about? So a woman wants to participate in this. What are they judged on? Is it you said leadership and various things?
right, yeah. So there's three parts of the process. So what if a woman is we have the competition for women that are over 21, and then we have a junior program, which is for girls that are 13 to 20.
Okay.
So there's different things that each of those programs do, but for the 21 and up program, if you wanted to participate, that first they have to fill out an application, which talks about who they are and what they've done in their communities as far as leadership and volunteerism and community service, fundraising. So it's just an application that gets to know them and their skills and things like that.
Yeah.
And then there is when they come in person, so you have to travel here
Okay.
where I am. I'm in Albany, New York. So, and it's open to all women over 21
Okay.
in New York State. There's other states that have similar programs as well.
Okay.
But I'm in New York State. And so you would travel here on the day of the competition. And the first part of the competition, you would do 2 timed interviews where the judges come, you're in a room with judges, and they ask you questions based on your application, and they ask you just different questions about why your platform is important, things like that. So you do 2 of those, and then you get on stage and you explain your platform to the audience.
Okay.
So you have to do that. And then, or what you would focus on if you became, the next Miss Wheelchair New York, or whatever state you're in.
Yeah.
And then you are asked 2 questions on stage by the judges in front of the audience. So
Okay.
you're basically you're judged, you get a score based on your application, your platform speech, and your on stage questions. So it's about communication, how you express yourself, your confidence, your presentation, all of those types of things is what
Yeah.
you get scored on.
That's awesome. I really love that. I love when there's opportunities for people to step into their greatness, right? And really shine and show what's possible, what's available for them, and really step into kind of shining and just being that light out there. And I love that there are programs like this, whether you're in a wheelchair or not. And I love that there's programs for for individuals in a wheelchair. I mean, like, I love how I've seen like basketball teams that they have where there's like in wheelchairs, and I'm so inspired by that, because you would think that that would be something that would stop you or prevent you from playing basketball or being in the Olympics. And yet there's so much out there that um, gives hope and gives inspiration, and it gives so much hope to other people that see that, where you're sitting there, you're not in a wheelchair, but you're complaining about life, and you're like, it's so ridiculous. And you see, someone in a wheelchair that's just out there giving and supporting the community, and having women come together and step in their confidence and show who they are. And I love that. I think that's really, really powerful.
Yeah, I think that was part of why this was all important to me, because often disability is presented as the opposite of health. And it's like, okay, well, if you have a disability, that means that you're not healthy. And I want to fight that and
Yeah.
say, I'm healthy. I'm just as healthy as anybody else.
Yeah.
And I can be active, and I can play sports, and I can travel, and I can do all of these things that maybe I didn't believe that I could do, or people outside of the disability world believe that I can't do.
Yeah.
So there are people, there's our program, and like you said, there's sports program, people that want to play sports, or people that want to, I have friends that do things, adventurous things, more adventurous things than I would ever do, like
Yeah.
jumping out of planes and
Yeah.
things
I was going to
like
say
that.
that. I think I've seen that.
I'm like, I'm not doing that, but if you want to, that's great.
Yeah.
But I have lots of friends that enjoy, doing that type of thing. And, and yeah, they have disabilities,
Yeah.
but they're living their lives, and they're, being out there and being confident and just living their best life.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to show people, and know that whatever that is for you, and it's not, doesn't have to look like how I'm doing it or how somebody else is doing it.
Right.
You figure out what your voice is, what your passion is, what your interest is, and you do that.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a wheelchair or whatever your challenge may
Right.
be.
Right. Yeah. Cause I mean, we all got them. It just looks
Right.
different for every person. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm so inspired by that. I love that. Is there is there any advice that you'd want to give someone that has found themselves in a wheelchair, or has a disability, that maybe they're you know not sure where to find these types of programs, or maybe they're just feeling down on themselves?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's all about, how you look at things, and, taking it one day at a time. If you've acquired your disability somehow, whether it's through age or, an accident or something like that, you just have to take it one day at a time. Just,
Yeah.
this is and learning how to adapt, which can be very difficult, especially
Right.
if you acquired your disability, from an accident or something, and you didn't have this disability, all your life.
Right.
So it's just, reach out. There are, kind of figure out, what works for you, and reach out, because you're not alone. There are people
Right.
all over the world, and thanks to the internet and technology, I can connect with people all over the world, whether they have disabilities or not. I've been very grateful, especially through the pandemic, to have been able to connect with people with disabilities all over the world, and get together and form groups online and in person. So I would just say, what, just figure out what works for you, figure out what your next step is and what you want in life, and then go after that. Whether you're have a disability or not, because
Yeah.
you can have it. You can have whatever kind of life it is that you want. If you want to, be a chef or be a rock star or whatever, or jump out of planes, if you want to do that, you can do that.
No, thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
but it's just knowing that you have worth, you have value, no
Yeah.
matter if you're sitting in a chair, using crutches, whatever, you have something to contribute in this world, and you have
Yeah.
value and you matter, and your life matters, your voice matters, your passions matter. So, just go for it and live your
Yeah.
life. You're just living your life now in a different way, but
Yeah.
you still have your life, and that's something to be very grateful for. And you just have to, sometimes life just takes us in different directions, and we have to learn to navigate in a different way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, amen to all of that. That is really powerful. And I mean, we all need each other. We need each other. We need the highs and the lows, the good and the bad. And there's always a lesson in it for us to give to one another. And I think that's, what's so important. How how can anybody get in touch with you? One, if they are disabled and they want to learn more about reaching out and getting help, and then two, if they want to volunteer and help in that way.
Absolutely. So the best ways to get a hold of me is either by email or on Facebook. I spend a lot of time on Facebook. If you're interested, if you just have like a disability related question, or any other question, my email is S as in Sam, my first name Shameka, and my last name Andrews, and at sanys.org. That's my email. Or I have a personal Facebook, which is just Shameka Andrews. Or if you want to specifically learn about the Miss Wheelchair New York program, or volunteering, or being a contestant, you can search Miss Wheelchair New York on Facebook. And
Okay.
I will get back to you about that as well. So those are different ways that you can get a hold of me for whatever the reason is.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And I'll put those links when I upload the video to YouTube. I'll put the links there so that way it'll be easy for anybody to find you there. Oh my gosh, I so appreciate you and what you do, and anybody in service. Thank you for your time today, and just the awareness that you're spreading, and that you're giving, and the hope and the positivity about you don't have to be down on yourself, or stop living just because you have some sort of disability, small or big. There's still a life to live. And I love how you say you do matter, and you are worthy of having that life. And we need each other. We need advice from one another, and perspective. Is there any final words that you want to share with anybody, or any
I,
advice,
I,
anything?
yeah, I just that, and like I said, you're not alone in whatever you're thinking, and don't put yourself down because you feel that you need to be this type of person, and you are you, and that's great, whatever that is. And you're not alone, and reach out, communicate, express yourself, however you're feeling, whether it is through writing or speaking or whatever that is. Because like I said, you're not alone, and somebody is going through exactly the same thing that you're going through, and thinking that they're alone. So but we're never alone,
Yeah.
no matter where we are in life. um and we just have to move forward one step at a time.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That's yeah, wise words. Sometimes we think we're alone in something, and really there's a million other people out there experiencing the same thing, thinking they're alone. And yeah, we're not alone. So we need to reach out and be there for each other. So Thank you so much, Shameka, for your time. I so appreciate you. Anybody that I come across that is in need or wants to volunteer, I'm absolutely going to send them your way for information or just, how they can support. And I'll let you, um, talk with them and share with them what they can do. So, yeah, with that, thank you. I hope everybody has a blessed day. And remember, you're not alone, and there's nothing stopping you from pursuing your dreams. So, God bless, and we'll see you on the next episode.